Hello and welcome to Rated G for Grok. I'm Grok. Today we will be discussing one of my favorite movies so far of this year, and also the horniest movie I've ever seen, Challengers. Challengers is a horny sports drama kissing film directed by Luca Guadagnino. He also was behind the making of Bones and All, as well as Call Me By Your Name. Also, oddly horny movies, if you've seen either of them. Starring Zendaya, and surprise, two horny boys. Who are these two horny boys, you might ask? I don't know. I've never seen them before, but they were very good. Their names are Mike Feist, who played the Edward Cullen's type, and Josh O'Connor, who played Jacob Black's type? These are Twilight characters. Now, apparently this movie has been pretty divisive, which is confusing to me because it's genuinely contender for movie of the year for me, for little old Grok, who once again is very qualified to speak on these things. The movie follows two up-and-coming rising tennis boys who happen to fall in love with the same tennis girl, a tale as old as time. Now, she ends up having a semblance of a relationship between both of them, ends up marrying one. The one falls in a bit of a rut in his tennis career, and to push him out of it, she forces him to face against his rival and ex-best friend, aka the other tennis boy at the beginning of my story, to see if it pushes him out of the rut. And basically we follow their relationships from beginning to end between the three in this weird little tennis love triangle. Go sports, and see the consequences of their action. Now, is that a good synopsis? No. Is that the correct synopsis? No. Do you want to know the correct synopsis? Google it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rate this movie the only way I know how, which is the Paul system. Now, P, as we know, is for plot. I loved it. This was something that I did not think I was going to love. I thought it was a sports movie until I had been told by multiple people to watch it. I knew there was some Horntown involved, but I didn't know the full extent. I would say this is a sports movie, but also in such an interesting way that rides the line of many other topics and concerns. It covers a wide variety of themes, most importantly manipulation. All three of these people, as you've seen in many romance comedy or romance drama, there's a lot of toxicity from all ends of the spectrum and from all three people involved. None of these people are good for each other, and yet they won't be leaving each other anytime soon. At the end of the day, what this movie asks was, what happens when an entire relationship is built on a common interest and then one person no longer is interested in that common interest? What is left of the relationship? If it is built on something that they no longer share, was the relationship ever true to begin with, or was it just based on their mutual love? I think this movie had fantastic pacing and also a very interesting way of storytelling. You flash back and forth to the big tennis match, to where they met, and you get to see these flashes with more and more bits of information as we go on the timeline. And it kind of increases the anxiety as well as the meaning behind the intensity of the match that we're seeing in the present day. It almost feels like our relationship to the characters is growing as we see how theirs grew as well, which is a very interesting lens to watch the movie, as well as these tennis matches. One of my favorite things about this movie was not only was it a sports movie and a drama, it was the horniest thing that's ever happened since 1964. I heard that was a horny year. And I think that anything can be horny, but what was so interesting about this was the sexual tension. I think that these scenes that kind of lay it all out there couldn't come close to the sexual tension and the energy felt between these three characters without a drop of nudity. The plot was amazing. Like I said, it was well paced. It kept me interested the whole way there. I felt like I was growing with the story, and I was really impressed with how it played out. Let's go over A for acting, shall we? Honestly, I don't even know what I can say about the acting, truthfully, because it was that good. There's really nothing to even speak about it. Zendaya outdid herself, as she always does. It's hard, I think, when she's such a big name, to not see the other characters she has played before, especially as one of the biggest Dune fans on the planet. I didn't even see her there. I didn't even see her. I literally just saw the character. The boys were also absolutely fantastic. Genuinely, each one had such a strong character, and they stuck to that character the entire movie. I didn't see a glimmer of the actor, or I lost the immersion for even 1 second. That's it. That's all I got for acting. U for uniqueness. I don't know. I would say this is a very unique film. It takes a lot of ideas and themes that have been in media since the beginning of the days, all of the days, but it mushes it all together. Obviously, there's been sports movies, there's been tennis movies, there's been horny movies, there's probably been menage a trois movies here and there, but seeing them all smushed and smashed and yet so well done was fantastic. The entire movie was so tense. It did a fantastic job of putting you back and forth between the horny boys as well. It was very like Twilight, where you're like, oh, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one, and then you're like, oh, I don't like any of them. Like I said, it was a horrible relationship, all three of them, and all of them have extremely toxic traits that you see dragged out as the story progresses. However, one thing I would say is that tennis was fun. The matches were actually really fun to watch. They were shot in such an interesting way. You would see the angle of, you know, seeing both of them ping pong or whatever. You would see the angle of the camera is the ball and seeing it flying back and forth. One thing that I think was the most unique thing about this movie was that in a lot of romance movies that we see today, there's the biggest problem in the movie is that there's a simple misunderstanding, they clear it up, they move on. This movie is not that. The problems come from the characters themselves. It comes with their relationships to tennis and each other and their own deep-seated issues that they clearly need to work through. Likeability, you're gonna call me crazy. I know you're gonna call me crazy. I don't know how highly I would rate likeability. I loved it. I didn't just like it. I genuinely think that it's up there with Dune 2 as a contender for my favorite movie of the year thing. However, I see why it would be divisive. It would draw in a lot of people who love sports, and it's not exactly a sports movie. It would draw in a lot of people who want to see a romance movie. It's not exactly a romance movie. People would want to see some soft. It is a little bit soft. I don't know if I can say. If someone just wanted to have a fun time and watch a fun sports movie or romance or whatever it may be, I don't think this would be that film. This movie is very pushing the idea of obsession and manipulation, and when what you love takes over every part of your life. Their relationships are tennis. It's who they are. It's the only thing they talk about, and you get to see how that hunger moves every decision that they make. Like I said, it's not for everyone, but those people who don't like it are wrong and stupid and sucky. And I loved it, and I think you should watch it, genuinely. I will pay you 3 cents to watch it. Please don't hold me to that. I have no money. But yeah, that's about it. If you think I'm wrong, shut up. Don't tell me that. I'll cry. But if you think I'm right, drop a like and a subscription and give me all your money. Okay.